Okay, welcome back to the channel, welcome back. So now that Alexander Usyk has solidified himself as a two-time undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the question's being asked, who's next for Alexander Usyk? At the end of the fight, Usyk mentioned a few names to be, like Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker, right? These are the names that he mentioned off the top of his head. The crowd, the fans, the hardcore fans, the boxing media, everyone knows Joseph Parker is next in line. The WBO have called the mandatory, and the mandatory has to be fulfilled by the end of the year. Alexander Usyk, being at 38, stated that he's not old, he doesn't feel old, and he believes he can go on for another 5 years. There was a Usyk fan from the Ukraine who came into my live stream earlier on, and he said Usyk will be here until 2030, so he ain't going nowhere for now. This is what they're saying anyway. So after this, obviously, Wembley Stadium with the battle with Daniel Dubois, I would say Usyk had silenced the critics, with the first fight that was in Poland when the low blow controversy and stuff like that. I believe that Usyk has now silenced his critics. So the WBO have called this mandatory and they want to see it fulfilled by the end of the year. Will Usyk fulfill this mandatory? And the mandatory is Joseph Parker, as mentioned by Frank Warren. The mandatory sits with Parker, so it should be by the end of the year Parker versus Usyk. But should Usyk decide to relinquish the belt, the WBO belt, maybe because he doesn't want to fight Parker, next in line is Moses Itauma. Yes, Moses Itauma. Now, Moses Itauma's got a fight with Dillian Whyte coming up, and I'm sure a lot of you know my thoughts on that. But even though Dillian's an experienced heavyweight, he's game, he's ever ready to fight. Dillian's not frightened, he can throw hands, but because he's been inactive for so long, for me personally, I kind of sit with Itauma. So should Itauma come through that fight and be victorious against Dillian Whyte, he then possibly could be, his next fight possibly could be a vacant title fight with Joseph Parker for the WBO belt. Yeah, it sounds crazy, innit? Moses Itauma's will be in a title fight in his next fight after Dillian Whyte. I personally don't understand how he got to that position, because from the way that I see, he hasn't fought anybody. Right, Dillian Whyte's going to be the first name, and Dillian Whyte hasn't fought for years. He hasn't fought a decent heavyweight for years. So I don't see Dillian ranked very high. I don't understand it. Obviously this is boxing politics. Boxing's a dirty game. We know how it goes. So it's going to be interesting to know what's going to happen next in the heavyweight division. Will Usyk defend against Parker? Which I think he possibly will. But if he was to drop the WBO, which no one would. I don't think anybody would call him out for him or saying he's ducking or anything like that. I don't think any of us would, looking at the body of the work that he's put through over the years at heavyweight. And if he was to allow Itauma to fight Parker, and should Itauma become victorious, let's say Itauma becomes victorious, then maybe Usyk might feel like fighting Itauma, because Turki Al-Sheikh has already expressed his interest in Moses Itauma facing Alexander Usyk. And again, on my live stream, you listen to my live stream, I already gave my opinion on that. Way too early. But if he was to beat Parker for a vacant title, then who's to stand in his way? I mean, Mike Tyson fought at 20 years old for a heavyweight championship, and Itauma is, I believe he's 19 now, so you never know. By the time he's 20, you could. Anyway, look, do us a favour, smash the like button, hit that bell for notifications so you get all the new and latest videos.